any bills on PayPal, so the ending balance was $264.73. Checking account was $638.80, both ending and beginning and ending. So that puts us at a total of $2,432.08.
That's good, considering we haven't done anything. So
We
we
didn't-
raising money.
We didn't
What is
spend
it, what?
2,432.
2402.
32, oh wait.
So, I got a motion approved.
I move the minutes be accepted as read.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. And it's approved as read. I mean, treasurer report approved as read. All right. Y'all want to do the elections first?
I'm saving for last.
How do y'all want to do it?
Do we normally do that last, or do we do that last?
Sometimes we don't do it. But
Sometimes. Yeah, like last time, and the month before that. All right. Nominations.
I'm nominating Steve, brother.
Which Steve? There's like 3 of them.
Steve Clinton.
Henry?
No,
No.
nominate Clinton for president.
No, man, I've been taping and doing the secretary. That's more than I want to do now.
You'd be a good one.
No. Look, I don't know that much. I don't even know where the bylaws are. I don't even know where.
I got all of that.
Conrad's been to more repeater sites than me.
I got all of that.
right now.
I don't know where anything. Look, man,
I got copies of the bylaws. I got copies of the
you
Constitution.
can Google it.
It's all, I got it all on a drive.
Hey, let's table this one. Let's jump subjects.
All right,
Let's
table
table
it.
elections, jump subjects, throw some subjects around and then come back to it. Unless anybody goes.
However y'all want to do it.
I know I don't go.
Thought we were going to try to wrangle Todd.
I talked to Todd.
Yeah, thought we were going to wrangle him into it.
Todd's not here,
He
right?
said he's not interested in office.
He did it a good bit too.
Yeah, oh, and he's like me, he's just getting back to normal.
Well,
And I ain't, my house is getting better, but I ain't there.
Okay, skipping over president. Is there anyone who would take, the vice presidential reins? Todd's vice president at the time. He doesn't want to run for president, and he doesn't want
hey,
office.
it's not him.
I'm not even a member.
But it don't matter. I don't think that matters.
What I'm saying
We
is,
can fix that dollars. We can make you one.
Yeah, fix that. Well, no, what I'm saying is,
We won't call you
let's
off.
table elections until later in the meeting
Okay,
and discuss some other things going on.
all right.
And then we can come back to elections.
We'll wrap around to it.
Right, because toward the end, when you're ready to go home, it's easier to.
See, didn't make a decision.
All right, we gotta go. And we don't have to look that person in the eye for another month or so. Yeah. All right, Conrad, you got a lot on your mind. I'm assuming you want to take the floor.
No, I'll just, I'll put it on zero right now. The 95 has been a change of ownership at that site. Be honest with you, when I want to speak to the manager, he's like, I have no idea what's up there, but here, come take a ride. But he was kind of over my shoulder the whole time. We talked about going up there trying to do some repairs. He gave me his card, said, look, whenever we want to go take a walk back up, I'll go back up there and look at things. He had no problem with it. I don't know how he's going to be about it. If it takes us 2 or 3 hours to do repairs. How did y'all do it before? Like, did they leave an employee up there with y'all? They just went down and left y'all up there and
They
y'all
didn't
waited?
go
It was
up
time
there.
to
They didn't want to ride that elevator.
But he rode the elevator, but that elevator, like, how did y'all get that cabinet up in there?
We lifted it.
We
with
winched that
winch.
cabinet up.
First I had to rebuild that winch.
There's a tugger
A piece of stuff.
on one of those silos.
Silos.
And we used that tugger to get that thing up there.
It was empty when we hauled it up. Then we put everything in it. But it was still heavy.
Looking at some of the stuff that's up there now, they got receptacles, GFR receptacles that they covered wide open. But they must go up there and use them for something and leave them open. And that's what the issue was one of the receptacles left open, it rained, tripped the circuit breaker. I'm going up there around for them and closing circuit, closing receptacles and stuff like that. The APRS radio and the 7 repeater all fired up when I flipped it. It didn't come up.
Yeah.
So what is going to be up there? Me and Adam talked about. We got some equipment that we can replace the APRS stuff doing that, but we have to work out with that guy as far as going up there and working with it.
Well, are that the ones we were talking about moving?
No,
So I think that we're gonna leave the APRS up there.
Yeah, I'm talking about leaving the APRS up there and the 7070 stuff up there and moving the 985 to St. James.
But but, APRS is something that it constantly changes a little, in other words, they'll change stuff and you gotta go change software and it.
Well, the box, we have these new boxes now called microsat.
Yeah.
That's what I have as a digipeater / iGate at my house. And we have a digipeater at the sheriff's office in Plus. And it's a little microsat box, they're like $65 or something like that.
Yeah.
They hook up to, as long as the right cable, to any radio very easily. And we haven't had to update it since, and it's never had to be reset, not no more. I'm sure I'm going to reset tomorrow, but we talking about just adding something kind of like that to that radio, because like I said, the radio does fire up, a little mobile that's in there.
I forgot it's a
little link or something.
It's a little cheap radio.
Let me ask you, are you saying that the accessibility getting to it is bad, that we ought to be looking at another place for the radio?
My thing is, the guy was up there, the guy who's now running that site had no idea what's up there. He said, let's take a ride together. He knew there was antennas up there. He knew what his equipment was up there, but as far as that cabinet and those antennas, he thought those antennas, they have their own private trunking radio. He thought that was for their stuff. That he's completely lost on it. So we didn't really get a chance, and it was also, I'm going to tell you, it was 20 degrees with the wind chill, had about 30, 40 mile, not exaggerating, 30, 40 mile an hour. There was times when that wind cuts through there, we were holding on to stuff. So by the time we got down, we were frostbitten, we didn't really talk too more about that, we both wanted to jump in here. So he was open to, here's my card, but if y'all have to go up there again and take a look at stuff or reset something, here you go, let me know. Me just kind of reading his body language, didn't seem like he was very ready to go. He just said, yeah, let me know when you have to go back there, and I'll make sure y'all have an escort. Which makes it sound, I'm curious to know when I say, hey, we got to go up there and make repairs, and we go up there for 2 or 3 hours, what's his attitude going to be? And I haven't realized, honestly, I've been so busy at work, I haven't had a chance to reach out back to him and say, we need to go up there and make or pull down the curtain.
All right, I'll re-ask the question, is he on the river with docking on the river?
No docking on the
He has nothing, because, you know, you fall into that Coast Guard thing that,
This is a concrete site that used to be owned by Lafarge. Now Lafarge has a little bitty satellite kind of office next to it, and now it's Continental Concrete. And like I said, this guy's from New Orleans East, we meet him, talked about and stuff, and he's actually from where I used to be from. And he's like, yeah, I got moved down here a month or 2 ago when Continental took it over, and he didn't know everything. I'm surprised he honestly let me go up there that easy, maybe because I was wearing this. But,
that's why
you
I was
know,
thinking you should.
other than that, but he's like, I'm like, hey, I'm with so-and-so, I'm also with the Ascension Club, we have some equipment up there. Oh, y'all do? Yeah, I said, we have an issue with you, mind if we take a ride up there, let me just see if there's something I can reset or something like that. Yeah, man, come on. It was like that easy. You know,
because you were sheriff's point.
and then I rode an elevator, and he's like, and actually I got kind of a knee issue, and it's such a jolt when it stops, and it jolts when it comes down. It kind of hit me a little bit. It's not a smooth hotel elevator. And I'm looking at the weight.
Are you looking at how it's driven up there?
No, I didn't want to. The only thing I think is like,
He's got a worm gear motor driven by a single 1-inch shaft with a sprocket on each end. If you shear the key between the gear motor and that shaft, or break the chain, free fall, 200 and something feet.
Anyway,
So you got the 985,
There's no brakes on it.
switching it back on. The UHF and APRS are still not transmitted. You powered them up, but they're not transmitted.
power up, but they're not transmitted.
Okay, and
I think it's a KP3, KPC3.
It is.
I took a picture of it, I posted a picture of it
And sometimes when that thing powers down and powers up, it gets confused and you got to reset it. You know, that's what's bad about it. take the power off, count to 10.
I'm gonna tell you right now, every one of the antennas up there has been twisted in the wind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Your
The wind's already broke.
your 70 centimeter instead of being a vertical is now it ain't a horizontal quite yet, it's a 45.
Right.
So even when that does come up, I see range being very limited on it. There's a third antenna, so do y'all have is the APRS separate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's getting, it's still, to be honest, the 95 one, I'm guessing, assuming it's 95 one, it's still kind of straight up. But you can look at the brackets and see that it needs to be, all of them need to be tweaked to a point.
We've had to do that.
All right, change the bounce on one. One of them broke out.
But going back to the thing is, we have a separate antenna, we have feed line now. I know at the last meeting we discussed we didn't have feed line. Adam has come up with some feed line off of another project. He even has a separate, different repeater now if we need it. So it's kind of like, we really been so busy we haven't had a chance to discuss all this. But it's kind of like, do we just put all new equipment where he's at and just give it the 985 frequency? Kind of just abandon that stuff that's up there?
We need to get all that.
Because the question is you
Because
go,
that repeater.
the guy, I go up
about
there,
4 years old.
I go up there and I can say, because I'm upset enough to say that I've gained weight, so I'm at 300 pounds. The guy next to me is a little bigger than me, and I'm reading what the weight rating is, and I don't know if I trust going up there with 3 or 4 handhelds.
Right.
Yeah, I'm that close to capacity, so I don't know if I'm coming up and down with that rated equipment. One of y'all skinny guys want to do it, y'all can be at it. That's my point is I hate to abandon that equipment, but it's getting that equipment down is if this guy gonna let us ride alone. My point is, when you have 2 people, there's not much weight capacity left to start bringing equipment up and
They
down.
they have that crane that runs out.
How long ago was that?
We can lower it all
How
down.
long ago was that?
Huh?
How long ago was that?
There's no friend there.
And you don't think it's.
I didn't see no prints.
Well, I'll say crane. It's an A-frame that extends about 6 foot past the side of the tower.
I didn't see it.
The wind, there's a wind about here that it's
It's not on
cabin
the
away.
side where the repeater's at, it's on the other side.
Right. It's on the first, it's on the one.
If y'all drive by there and you still see it, then it might still be there, but my point is,
But you gotta bring your own pulley and all, because it's all, everything up there throttle.
Okay.
All right, so your recommendation is to either get off, to abandon that, get all
We
this stuff
run
down?
a rope, we do a rope, just lower the equipment down, leave the cabinet up there.
Well, the plan was to move the 985. If we start by
Yeah, we
moving
used
that,
that.
that's one
That
project.
was, how many years ago?
APRS is working right now, I'm hitting it from the house, I'm hitting it, from here. But we'll take it off the air and move it, and then,
the APRS.
not APRS, I'm sorry, the 985. If we take it down and move it, how long till Adam's thinking about this next project? I know he said he was waiting for another project when the tower climber comes back out and do it all at once.
That's basically what they tell me now. Francis, who's in charge of the EOC, their director, will like some type of MOU stating just the MOU from the club, sign stating whatever.
Right, between the St. James Parish government and whoever is ownership of that repeater, that there's an MOU of like memorandum of understanding that, he's gonna allow you to put your equipment up there, he's not liable for, responsible for whatever.
Right.
And you're not gonna hold, vice versa,
It's a whole harmless agreement.
Kinda like that, yeah.
But then the next question that came up is, what is the height currently of that antenna?
211 feet.
Is finding out what is Francis going to allow us. Technically, that is a 400-foot tower, but Francis does have, or the government does have, 2 or 3 antennas on the top, can't remember what it's called, and even something right underneath that.
He's gonna be afraid of interference from that involving the 7,800 antennas all the way to the top.
So-
Even though it won't interfere, he may not.
It doesn't matter if you don't put it at the top.
Side on
Right.
caution, yeah.
Right, but
He wants to start on
so,
close.
so say he tells y'all, you gotta put it, you can't go higher than 350, whatever it may be, or say there's an antenna, they got some antenna, what you call them, antenna brackets already there, triangles. Yeah. Say that's at 325, would y'all be willing, or y'all still wanna move it to that tower at just 325, even though it's like another 6 miles of the crow flies?
You'd still be better off.
Okay.
The problem with that is accessibility to it.
Well,
They're
that's what I'm
only
saying.
there
You
certain
wanna do the
hours.
other stuff too,
Yeah.
out of accessibility. Now, I don't know if that'll throw off your what's that one, UHF and that
APRS, automatic, the automatic packet reporting system.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know, putting a combiner on there to run the APRS like we do at our office. APRS combined with the 95 on the same antenna, so now you got a digipeater.
Before that, we put that one up, I ran the APRS from my house at 40 foot,
That's mine.
and it worked fine.
Yeah, I want-
Because all you have, I could hit both, the one in, by Brass Pro Shop, I get that one, and I would hit the one, down south.
Talk about
At 40
accessibility.
feet. And, the radio was a 30-watt radio, I only ran it at 10 watts, and had no problem making that.
It doesn't take
On the
much.
As a matter of fact, whenever I would pick the right,
He's talking about accessibility to the concrete plant.
The right
What about the
APRS
St. James site, if we needed to go out there and repair, is the sheriff's office gonna have to grant us access, or would we have some?
Yeah. Well, we've
yeah, but
actually,
then
I'm available.
there's somebody there
I
24/7.
live 40 feet away from them.
Not only that, the thing about it is too,
Nice.
you're in a whole lot better place, your equipment is in a lot
It's in,
more.
it's not out.
And I'll tell you what,
We want generator backup power.
That's what I'm about to get at. We don't have to worry about them leaving receptacles open and frying equipment.
Well, and you're not in the weather.
That's what I'm saying, you're not, when we do the work on it, you're not getting frostbite.
But we need to get all the equipment out of that cabinet and just leave the cabinet, abandon the cabinet. We need to get the antennas down and the equipment off the roof.
Could the equipment ride the elevator down by
Look.
itself?
No, because you can't
No,
start.
because inside, it's
You
a,
can't
it's a
start
manual
without-
start in and out.
You gotta bypass the door switch. You know,
I
they can take the
understand
doors
that.
open, hit the button and jump out the way.
People fit in and you can't.
I don't even know how to do this.
It can be done.
How close
It's
are
about
we
this
to
wide.
what do we need to,
And
like,
there's stairs.
how close are we right now in this discussion to maybe a motion saying that at the next available opportunity, we go back out to the concrete site, take 985 back off there and down that elevator along with the APRS,
And lower the antenna.
might as well go ahead and take the 440.
Yeah, and everything is, just leave the cabinet.
Leave the,
Just take
leave
that,
the
throw that,
cabinet.
all the equipment out
What
of the.
kind of repeater is that right now for 95? What is it?
A Kenwood.
It's a good repeater.
With about a $2,000 PA on, you know,
Yeah, it's about $5,000 sitting up there.
and it's got
Let's
a cat
pause
control.
this discussion and say this, because this is what we brought up last time. The 225, where are we at with that?
It's sitting at my house. I got 28 inches of water in my shop. I lost a couple $100,000.
So we're not close to what it was.
No, the duplex are filled with water. I dismantled it, but before my hand got up. I dismantled the duplexer, cleaned it all out, sprayed it down with WD-40, blew it out with air, wiped it down, and got my spectrum analyzer. It don't come up. It's no.
We have an issue right now with one of ours.
So all the pieces are sitting there and it's clean. I won't put it's like 1,000 little screws to put it. It's one of those.
The reason I'm asking is because if we knew the 225 was going to come up, then we have no problem taking the
Well,
95 down. But right now, we can take the 95 down, and basically we have this gap
310.
down between.
Yeah, you got a
we
310.
still got the 310, I use the 310 every day.
Yeah, but it don't have to cover it south.
It
But,
covers north, great, I was hitting.
The 225, I think the radio is fine. We have it set at about 5 watts to drive that 250 watt PA, which gives us about 180 watts out, and about, when the duplexer was working, about 125 out to the antenna, and when the duplexer got full of water, about 20 out, and about a lot of heat in the duplexer.
We have an issue right now.
So with the radio, I took the radio and fed it straight into my analyzer. I got an IFR, no analyzer, but it's a generator and signal generator and receiver.
What would it
And I
take?
fed it in there. It was doing its 7 watts like we had it set for, and it sounded good. But feeding it into the PA and then into that duplexer, it was garbage.
What's it gonna take to get 225 on the air or replace it?
Yeah, well, the 225, I don't think is a problem with the radio. I pulled the radio because there's no way to check that amp without that radio. So I pulled the radio, I pulled the power supply for the PA and radios, same one, and I pulled the PA. And now, I got a dummy load, a 1,500 watt dummy load I can fire it up into. My shop is still got mud on the floor because I've been rebuilding my house. I cleaned up one section of my shop where I can do a little bit of woodworking, but the rest still got I still got 5-gallon
We have
buckets
this issue
full of
with our 805, which is the only 2-meter one down there, where we running the Motorola, actual Motorola repeater now,
Mhm.
to push out 40, 45 watts. Through the duplexes, it's crystal clean, fine, in and out, no problem, good
Oh,
range.
yeah.
We got a hold of a 100-something, actually it's a 300-watt PA, but we have it tuned down a little bit. You can push like 150. When you hook that PA up, we had another site working great, so we know it works fine, it's clean. But our duplexer, when we put that, even though the duplex is rated for it, when we turn the amp on, the receive side goes to. You can't hear nobody even right the block down talking, all you hear is scratching this.
Right.
But then when the key up tone is done, or you get like an ID coming from inside the repeater, it is crystal clear at my house, inside, 15 miles away, with a handheld inside your house. So we have a duplex issues also.
Right.
So my issue is for people, in case of some type of emergency comes down, people that want 2-meter radios, now the Flossum's down, the 95 one would be down, or whatever we want to do with.
Right.
225 down. So it's
with the 985, it would be kind of long enough for you to get it from over there and put it where it's going.
I think the next step we need to do is we need to do the MOUs we did at the Francis. Then find out from Francis when he's gonna be able to get a tower climber there, whatever. And then we know that we have a tower climber coming on X date.
Yeah.
That's when we need to kind of scramble. And the issue's always been is, you've been busy with your stuff, of course. Todd's been busy. I'm busy. I got 2 tower projects going on right now. Adam was transferred that water to EOC. So now he's Monday through Friday instead of doing shift work. I think my fear is just that when Francis says, okay, we can do this on March 5th, it's scrambling guys to get up there, to take 985 down, and to get up. But like I
All I
told
need for the tower crew is to put an antenna in the feed line.
and we have,
If we use Adam's antenna and feed line, we can come back and get that 95 at any time.
That's
And
convenient,
let- Right, and let Adam have the antenna that's up there to
Yeah.
replace the one.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And say, all right, we're gonna
All
swap.
right,
it.
why don't we do this? Why don't we look at getting the antennas at your site hooked up? 1 antenna, 2 antennas, whatever we need, the feed lines down,
Yeah.
and get it all done.
Yeah.
And once that's ready,
Then you go
just
grab the 985.
tell us, all right, we need
That
to
is-
get the
that's a
985,
good antenna.
and we'll go get it.
But like
Why
how
don't we
we
do that?
probably
It is-
need to get.
The antenna was cut for 225.
Instead of us, moving to
We bought-
985
we bought
and
it
waiting
for
on the antenna
225
crew,
from,
let's get it done,
I was
the
happy,
antennas,
yeah,
and we'll go move it.
That's the way to do it.
Tell.
Get the speed line run and then move it.
Get everything run, and then we'll go get, once you get it done, then we'll go get the radios.
Huh?
K-Tar.
I rode down Lafayette, picked it up,
But maybe if y'all could just, I don't know if you even need that, but whoever the president's gonna be at this meeting, give them authorization to enter into an MOU. If we can come up with an MOU,
Yeah.
y'all look it over and say, hey, that
Sign
looks
it.
good. We'll let the parish attorney give his blessing saying, yes, this is.
We've
worded
always
right.
done that, and, I mean, we did different agreements, we had an agreement
Right,
with,
with Ascension and all that.
Well,
and
yeah.
all them.
we had to do the same thing,
Yeah.
basically, the whole
Now,
office, we
I think
donated us.
the issue we came up with, kind of like that Facebook group is, between how busy you've been, how busy Todd's been, how busy he's been, how busy I've been, is when we do get this, is tracking somebody down to say, hit, sign his phone.
I could drive it
Did we
anybody.
sell
I
know,
know.
it's just- just trying to find
The
somebody
old
to do
225
it.
amp, did we sell that one, or we still got it? The amp that was on the 225, we bought a new 225, we bought a new amp. I know we sold the radio, the 225
You know
radio.
about them old POS things?
Piece of shit.
No, it was a good amp, it was that
No,
black,
it was-
that little,
Oh, no.
percent,
Oh, no, I don't know about that one.
Okay.
If we got that amp, it's in the C-Can.
or it's at my house.
Oh, is that your house?
Now, the C-King that's up there on top of that thing,
That's not ours.
so we gotta do, that guy, to be honest with you,
He didn't know it was
he
in.
has no idea what's in it, he don't know how to get in it, he thought that was ours.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you, he don't even know what's on his own property.
But if
Al,
I
do you
said,
have anything
you got
see
somebody with some,
that we could put on
you know, somebody that can check out a
225?
radio and a PA?
Is there something?
We got a set of duplexes that's set.
Right, because the duplex, that's a $3,000 duplex, and that's that res lock.
We don't have anything.
That's the Sixth Avenue res lock, all aluminum, it's square.
But is it one and one that's like from here to,
No, it's this tall.
How much is it to
It's rack mounted, it mounts on a 19-inch rack, but it don't have the load.
All right.
You need somebody to
That's
check it,
what
or
it
you need
is.
somebody to fix it?
Huh?
Need somebody to check it or fix it?
Just check it. It's gonna have to be adjusted, because this one, when you got a rod, you loosen a jam nut, and when you move that rod, it's got an aluminum tube about 1.25 inches, and some copper fingers that run on it, and that tube slides in and out. The water level was above them fingers.
Didn't we get?
So I had to pull all them down and clean all them fingers.
Listen, I got a guy who
It's fixed.
he kind of owes me a favor.
Didn't we have that other set? Didn't I bring you that other set?
Yeah, that old set.
If you think all the 225 needs is a duplex or two, I can probably get that.
We can put it back.
I have a buddy that
Somebody come over and put it back.
he owes me a favor and says that he can do that.
Yeah, but it's not, the other one, it's
All right.
not close to that red spot.
So you
Let me put it as a motion then,
Red spot
kind of,
is a whole lot.
think the 225 just needs a duplex?
let me go this way.
Everything for the 225, but the controller, the cat 300 controller is at my house. So the cat controller is still in the rack. Because you don't need a controller to test. You know, you need the radio to test. The PA is a problem. But we might have, no, it's down the ground. On the ground, airline. Airline, and we pass by it on whatever it is.
DOT goes.
So, yeah, that's what a controller is.
Where we had the air conditioning problem in that little shack.
No, that's 310. That's 310.
310.
But my thing is, what I'm saying is, if you think the only issue on getting the 225 up is the duplexer, I can get somebody to get that tuned, get the radio, and go back
Yeah,
to the,
and,
and
well,
go all on
we have a percent amp, and it's either in a box up above the water line in my shop, or on a shelf in my radio room in the house. And it was working. We run it at about 110 watts into the duplexer, about 80, 90 out the duplexer. And it wasn't a problem. And I'm pretty sure it's at the PA itself. When that duplexer filled up with water and it went into that bad, I'm sure it got probably one of the output transistors on it.
But you don't think the amps can be good either?
Huh?
You don't think the amps can be good either? The amp, you think the amp's still good, or you think the amp's
No,
not good?
that's what I said, but we got a percent. We got the old, that amp is a brand new 250 watt amp. You know, but we run it about 130.
What you were saying?
I was gonna say, well, let's do this.
So,
I'll make the motion, we'll go ahead and work with y'all, get the antennas and the wires ready for transfer. As soon as those are done, let us know, and we'll get the 985 down, everything that needs to come down, and try and move it during a Friday for Al, if Al can help, something like that. We'll move it during the week so we can shut it down in the morning, move it over there, get it connected, and get 985 up that day. Is that,
Do we need the MOU before we need? All right, so
Yeah, the MOU is the next step.
Okay.
Next step on that.
officer elections and the new presidents, officers need to get together and draft an MOU.
I can draft it.
We can
All
draft
you gotta
it.
do is have somebody to have all
We just gotta figure who's gonna sign.
Perfect.
okay,
And, so you don't have to call another meeting. and say,
Yeah, we got a
okay,
template that we can
okay.
use already.
So put all of that in one great big
Right.
slush fund, and let's just work on it.
You got to leave the reporter side of the gas. I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna just copy, paste, cut out some names, and
Yeah,
I'll just find out who the president is after the end of this election.
Fill in the blank template.
okay. I mean, that sounds good to me. The 225 is a different story. We'll just kind of, let's look at the 985, and if we can get the MOU set, we get the antennas and the wire ready,
Yeah, we're
And-
as high as they can.
decide and say, all right, on 2 weeks from now on a Friday morning, we want to go over to the concrete plant. We're going to shut 985 down. We're going to bring everything down that belongs to us that we can, and we'll move it over there to your place. And then by afternoon, it all ought to be up and running.
The other question I had is, depending on what kind of mood Francis is in, where do we all agree that it's not ideal to move it, as far as height on that tower?
Like, what's the lowest height?
Right, like I'm saying, is right now you're saying you So if he says, if for some reason, I'm just throwing a number out there, if he says it's only 250,
That'd be fine.
then to me, it's not worth it. Do you think?
Two hundred and twenty-five feet.
Anything above 200.
So in other words, we want to move it no matter what, just to get into a more secure area that we can access.
Also, what about the shadow?
When you can't get to it and it's dead, it's of no use.
What about the shadow, as in where would it be placed on the tower, and where do we want to make sure we have coverage? I know everyone's talking about going to the south side, because everyone wants the river parishes. Those of us on the north side, like I'm in St. Gabriel, we running up through the Plaquemine area, we don't have any repeaters in Plaquemine, and I use the 7-9 in Baton Rouge for the Baton Rouge Club, if I'm not on 310. So do we want to exclude anyone in the shadow, as in if we put it on the, south, on the east side?
Like
Put it
this.
on the east side of the
I'm
tower?
gonna put it to you like this.
Mhm.
Right now, the 985 antenna is at 211 feet.
Probably.
It doesn't really have much of a shadow on it.
Yeah.
But it's pointed down around.
Concrete plant, concrete
Yeah.
Tower, so-
Do we want to keep it in
It
home
still
to
works, it still works fine.
Okay,
It's a four-legged tower.
yeah, we're not,
Freestanding.
So,
Yeah, I don't
well,
think
that's
that-
what I'm worried, I'm just wondering, is
it's pointed that way because at the time we put that thing up,
We paid like that
that
at
tower for
250.
the 3.9 was coming
Probably
down.
about 3 foot,
And
a little less.
so, we did that to help them guys out. So
Okay.
they could have a
And
computer
you
that
all
they
off
could
the
hit
tower a little
while
way.
every field was out of circuit.
do we want to make sure it covers Thibodeau?
But Steve, but let's discuss this though.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I look at 310s up there, the 985 has all its elements pointed in the same direction.
And
right?
they all
Just one
pointed to
direction.
what home
So my suggestion would be, since, like you said, y'all did that on purpose back then, because y'all knew y'all were losing 3.9 at some point.
Yep.
Let's go back to an Omni,
That's fine.
and therefore you're adding the additional, so you won't have as much of a shadow now, because we will, eventually I'm also working on a 500-foot tower we're building in the Place, that we're adding a 2-meter and a 70-seating, 70-foot, 7-meter. You're gonna have the 225 some point back up. The 3.9 is doing great.
And you'll have
So
the
let's just, to
985
me, let's just go to an Omni at 300-something feet, and
You'll be
the
fine.
most, you might have a little bit of a shadow depending on what side of the antenna we put on, but we don't, I mean, the tower, but.
Omni's good.
It's not on the tower, we're supposed to.
What about,
Put 'em up.
all right, we're talking about taking the 310 down and all the antennas up there.
The what?
95.
985, the 310's are the same side, isn't it? No.
310 is the gallows.
It's fine. It's down on,
Dirt road.
find the 310.
310 and APRS is in Galvez,
No, 310 and the
440.
beacon, the 10-meter beacon.
We have it work in.
Yeah, they stole the battery.
Okay, so the one in common at the,
One in
see,
common.
that's where I was confused.
The one in the common,
985 is just the APRS
And the 440.
and there's a 440 machine there too.
Yes, 3
That's
machines.
440, the APRS, and the 985.
Right.
And that's in common.
Okay.
And we're bringing it all down.
Bring it all down, all right, and we've got the 310,
310's in Galveston,
In
it's
Galveston.
almost a quarter minute.
and we don't know what's wrong with it.
310 is
Working.
Oh, well, I mean, 310, yeah, all right, see now. all right.
There's a beacon that's down or whatever, they stole the battery off the beacon.
You probably can't even get back there.
When you put the antennas up, can you put an antenna for the 440?
Well, if you got full
For the
of
70 centimeter?
Well.
We haven't got that far yet for discussion.
Summertime.
I don't think that.
During the summertime.
I don't even have 440 at the house and never run it in
Yeah.
the car, so it's one of those things I never even bothered, worrying about too much.
That's not really used that much.
Back maybe during the heyday when everyone was doing.
We used to have 3 of them.
All right,
Okay.
so take the 440 down, throw it in the sea can. APRS and 985 go to St. James Parish.
Now, will we need a new cabinet over there in St. James to put, you said you leave the
Yeah,
cabinet?
it's gonna,
They got
it's just gonna, they got a rack, they got a rack.
Oh, okay. All right, I saw that.
There's a premise.
We got a spare, we can want some, I've got a huge record, I don't know how.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
If not, I got a little 2-foot rack, 3-foot rack.
If not, we take the rack down off the concrete plant and concrete.
Server racks.
Server rack, like 2-pole or 4-pole or like a whole cabinet.
We got ours on the whole cabinet right now.
Because
not saying that something else that would be able to pick
And
it
if you
up.
only put in a 985, the biggest thing is the duplexes. You know, because, you know, the Kenwood's only,
Probably not gonna put that in.
about 7 inch of rack space. Vertical.
You probably can do that with behind the camera.
And the controller is a half space. And the power supply, I think it's just sitting, I'm not sure about what power supply was in there.
You have 4 racks over there now?
I got 2 of them that, we have, 2 mobile racks, one for the C-Wing, one for L-Wing. That has, that's what we use to grab our audio off of. I think there's some space at the bottom. I wouldn't put it on L-Wing at all, I don't wanna touch their racks at all, or C-Wing. So those other 2, we'll talk, if not, we'll come up with something.
Don't fool with that.
I'm trying to remember if inside that can, if that rack came out, that stainless box that's up there on top of the top. I don't remember if they bolted in or if they welded in.
The rack, the cabinet?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
racks in that. Okay.
I opened it up, took a picture of it, looked around a little bit. There's even on the bottom of there's about a ½ inch of water in there, so I thought, oh, everything must be fried. And then we kind of looked around, and we all catching frostbite. I mean, I had long sleeves on with a heavy, thick coat, and it was cutting through me. It was already 35 degrees, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, right there, whatever.
Before we went up there, and he had that 35, 40 mile an hour, it was frigid. And we said, I saw, happened to see the receptacles open, and I said, I wonder if that's the issue. Then we traced the wire, and sure enough, those receptacles were open too. And I said, hey, any idea where the circuit breaker is for this? He was like, no, I'm at the Public Christian. So we kind of walked around, and we saw some circuit breakers. Sure enough, we opened it up, and there were 3 or 4 in there tripped, and he went. The next thing you heard on my radio, I hear the repeater ID.
Okay.
Went back over there, I made sure everything was powered up, but I was so cold I wasn't going to sit there and test anything else. But I saw lights. I mean, that wind was coming through, but actually the wind was coming swirling from the south, so it was still hitting me in the back. So, but you can see the lights coming on in that APS module that y'all have underneath there, APRS one. I saw the little radio light up. I saw, it was lit up, so we jumped in that elevator and prayed as we came down. And as I'm praying, I said, as I'm coming down, I'm looking at what the capacity of the weight limit is. I'm looking at this guy in me, and I'm like, this equipment ain't coming down. At least we'll be riding the elevator.
Find the skinniest guy, ride him up and back down with the equipment. 310, the clock's been off by 4 hours forever. Any idea how to reset it? Because
That one is the
Star 22.
Cat 300. It's a Cat 300 control.
Yeah.
I can email you those instructions.
He sent me instructions. Star 22 and then the time.
It's
not
timing. The only way I got it to work good was I had a little program on the computer that I GTMF program I downloaded.
Okay.
And you had to put the spaces, like a space was a ½ second. So you had to give it a long enough tone for it to understand it, and then a long enough space to detect the space. But if it was too long, it would crap out before you got the whole string in.
Jesus.
So, but I had it all of it where I'd go in and I had all the front end and the back end, and all I'd do is go in. I'd look at the time and say, well, in 2 minutes it'll be this. I'd put that in, and then whenever to hit it, and then take whatever length of time it is to go in. I can get it within a second or two. But that's 2 computers ago. So I have no idea where it is. And if it's pre-Windows 10.
I wouldn't change the time till March, because.
Mainly, I keep the radio on all day at home or whatever.
Oh, yes. The wife, when I had the radio on, the wife, it says, hey, right now.
Yeah, 608.
It is somewhere.
It's 608 and it says
Yeah,
it's 1008. And I
that's in the
no, it's not. It's
last
608.
I don't even have a radio to look at.
10 p.m.
I
No,
don't
it's
have it in
not.
my house, I'll be honest with you.
I
I got an APRS running in the garage, a little APRS on the road, that's all I
radio
got.
up after when we got back in after the flood, and my power supply blew the fuse. And I put another fuse in it, and it blew the fuse again. And the radio sitting.
I lost no radios during the flood, but when I had them sitting on the desk, not even powered up, that little lightning storm we had about 2 months afterwards, got 3 of them.
I keep the 310 on all
I went
day.
from 11 radios.
I scanned the 985 with my radio, so that's, I hear it, I told him that's all.
Well, we're good guys on my part. I'm gonna jet out, go grab dinner and get him back home to the village.
Appreciate your help.
Anything that y'all want, Conrad, I guess will let me know who's the president tonight. And,
You are, congratulations on this.
no.
Conrad.
I'm gonna leave it out because I don't want you to say there's gonna be some collusion going on, and no Russian involvement.
You think that's right here?
Who was that last week?
Steve Brignac.
That's what I said. Oh, he is, as soon as he walks out that door.
No.
Technically, he was president.
I mean, on the radio.
Yeah.
I haven't even
Make
made my
sure you
first
take it to a
contact.
good place
you
for
know?
dinner, not Burger King and McDonald's.
So I don't think that's gonna work.
Okay.
Y'all have a good night. All
We
right.
don't have to train out bad habits.
That's right, that's right.
All right. So we got a lot of work to do with the people. We gotta try to get the 225s.
We work on it.
You got my email, Conrad?
Which one's that?
You have my email?
Everyone here get an email
Adam
from
got
me.
my
Yeah,
email.
I'm pretty sure I do.
If they get the MOU done, just send it to me. I'll
I know,
sign
you look at, me and my wife come down here once a week shopping.
it. Yeah.
And everyone here got my email about the meeting announcement? Everyone
Yeah.
got an email from me?
Nope.
Jim, you did not get an email?
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, we got a few issues ourselves, and we actually worked on some DNR stuff. Adam got a hold of
2.6 was the date.
70-centimeter repeaters, Motorola XPR 8400, that can do either analog or digital. So we actually started venturing into DMR, and it's been a whole new, kind of fun game, you know, just learning a whole different side of it.
I knew the meeting was there because I get
We,
the
so
message.
we'll actually start having some DMR stuff on the air. But again, we kind of have this disease right now that we finish a project kind of quarter and halfway, and another one comes up, and on top of projects that work with building, I'm just finishing a tower in Garyville, now we want to build this tower in Quas, and the other hats I wear, it's kind of like, you know, the reason I bring that up is because we keep going back to this idea of merging clubs. I know we discussed it.
I think that would probably be the best thing.
I know you, we started working on bylaws, we very close to finishing that up. And Adam was supposed to try to come here, and we would like to see, we have to get rid of the Plantation Club, because to get it 5031C.
501c3, yeah.
Yeah. See, you have to have the paperwork from the beginning, and nobody knows the paperwork is from 1965.
We don't, the 501c3 that we had was let go before I was even in this club, and I've been in this club for 16 years. Okay? So, that's why I'm saying, personally, my opinion, I don't know how everybody else feels. Personally, my opinion, that would be the best thing to do, and just let everybody merge in, and you have your 501c3.
Conrad,
Speaking to people about it, speaking to people about it,
Conrad, you run the Facebook group for the, repeater link, this, Gulf link or whatever?
yes, that's my project, that's why I can't even more projects.
Right, I don't want any more projects.
But
It's Windland, you don't have the interest.
What about our repeaters?
Speaking to, so, in order to get enough members to do anything, it would be in the best interest of both clubs.
Right. Speaking to a couple of attorneys that we do know with Barbara, it's a lot easier to start with a club from scratch. If we go to the IRS asking that and saying we want to do the Plantation Club, yes, I understand it has history in LaPlace from 1940 something, whatever it is, and this club does too. So I don't want to disrespect nobody by thinking I'm stepping on toes, and that's what we kept saying back and forth. But the way the IRS is, it's a lot easier to start from scratch than to try to take over. If you have the Plantation Club that was established in 1964, they want paperwork from 1965.
Well,
And
yes.
kind of like here, it's been handed over so many times and everything like that,
And
nobody knows
that,
what
I
that's
had all the records at my house. You know where the records are at? It was under 2 foot of water.
So we keep throwing around this idea that we would like to merge, make one big happy family, figure out how we would merge equipment, money, a little bit, a couple of thousand that we have on the Plantation side, a couple of thousand you have. I don't know how legally that would work starting new today. I don't know that. I'm gonna tell you I don't know that. how it would be of us absorbing the repeaters we have under the plantation club, the repeaters yard. I don't know how that works.
I mean, none of that stuff is a real big deal, okay? Because honestly, basically what you're gonna do, if you're gonna merge and you're gonna form another club, and you're gonna get your 501, right? You go to the bank, dude, you close out your checking account, savings account, you open, put your money together, you open the checking and the savings. Not a big thing. As far as equipment
No, you're
goes,
right, yeah.
as far as equipment goes, there is nowhere in writing in our club as to who owns the equipment.
What about the
Well,
what about the trailer?
I got a question for you.
Trailer, the
I
trailer,
thought the trailer was Homeland Security money from
No.
Ascension.
it is.
It was given to the club.
Yeah.
Because
We're
we built,
still
no,
licensed.
they provided some cash for some equipment, and we built the trailer.
Who has the title?
I even have a place,
Who has the title then if
The
it,
DOC's got the title to it, but that's,
y'all still having issues on where to park that? Are you still kind of keeping y'all from getting there and stuff like that?
we talked to Rick, and Rick said, I will let y'all know, and we have not heard from
So
him.
it's still in there.
Because I have a truck now that I purchased last month, so
Well, I no longer have a
Awesome.
truck that will tow.
I went bought me a new GMC.
You no longer have a truck?
2,500.
I no longer have a truck that will tow that trailer.
I do.
It's
That
huge.
trailer's
You need a
89,000
dually
pounds.
with a good engine and good
I
brakes.
don't have a dually, but I got
The
a
frame on
GMC
that trailer
diesel
is
pickup.
like that, it's a,
2,500, so.
It'll pull
it'll pull. That's a heavy built trailer, it is.
Not just a trailer, there's a whole bunch of equipment in it that is,
Yeah.
you know, everything from a
There's-
blow-up tower
it. Yeah,
to,
well,
There's
that's-
four optimal gel cells in there, deep cycle optimals in there. There's a charging system there. To keep,
there's a 40-foot
Six off.
hydraulic,
okay, I thought.
Two on each
telescoping
of the
tower
three
on
power
the
supplies.
Okay.
2, 4, 6.
There's three 50-amp power supplies, two HF rigs, two UHF, VHF rigs, a VHF repeater.
Did y'all ever get that L1 radio back that they were working on? Because I was talking to Chuck Cassar, he was supposed to have that reprogrammed.
Dude, Chuck will be 10 years doing that.
Who's that? Which radio is that?
Elwood. And the way that was supposed to work was, they were supposed to program the code when you put, in other words, if a law enforcement officer needed to use, it wasn't for us school, right? If law enforcement needed to go in there and use it, there's a code that they would give them, and they could put the code in and
activated on some portable repeater site.
Because I work a lot with Chuck now. But
Well,
so I could. If y'all think I'm going crazy, that poor guy, he's
he's
to
burned the
my
candle both ends, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be my wife keeps telling me, you're supposed to be an 8 to 4 employee. With this power thing, Motorola has been screwing up so bad. I haven't been home before 7 o'clock in the last 2 weeks. It has been, I have time at Chuck's at his site trying to figure out, because he's the control site for our site, and it's been crazy. But I can find out, but I know when we came up with those Aries talk groups on Elvin, that we kind of abandoned. We will come up with a new river region on Chuck's system for races. Since we've abandoned this whole Aries thing,
Dude,
it's gonna be a race.
I
So
sent
I wanna
my
make sure I
Aries
get, I wanna get,
resignation in, I don't know,
Even the guys in the Tangible Hope.
right after the
say
flood,
they're pushing
and I still get,
don't get to.
What, you talking about Aries?
Aries.
Yeah.
It ain't just here. Me doing my Gulf Coast Link stuff, talking to guys in Florida, talking to guys in Texas, talking to guys in Mississippi, it's a disease right now. And I hate to knock anybody, especially on camera, but it's just fact. I mean, I can give people names and numbers of people I spoke to who said, oh, really, y'all abandoned areas too? Yeah, we are too. We're trying to figure out if we're gonna be racist or we're gonna be Cellcom and everything like that. It's just it's a thing that's going around, and I'm sorry, but it is.
Blank Parish
You know
or
what?
Blank County Auxiliary Communications
I'm
Service, that's
gonna tell you that
ACS.
attitude we have, and the attitude we have in St. James has. We just feel that we're here to help, and we don't need to be tied to anybody.
that's exactly right.
We are willing to, if Ascension needs help, and Chuck calls me, or John calls me, we're gonna go help.
Right.
And I know that they'll come help me. I don't need to be tied to Aries' rules, or Cellcom's rules, or,
The only thing you need to be tied to is your EOC.
Correct.
That's it.
And we have a great relationship with ours, and we have one with St. James, we have one with Ascension.
If you can get, especially if you work, if you can get it in, you know, if you're in good standing with yours, we are with ours, we shouldn't have an issue.
And I'm the races officer for Niverville Parish. I would love to have some of these, you or someone else, come to a bi-monthly meeting and sit there and talk up what we can do for.
Send me an info.
But I just don't have any.
With my position with my position with the sheriff's office now, especially when we meet on SIEC with Elwin, my sheriff knows once a week kind of going somewhere. Whether it's Iberville, whether it's Assumption, Lafourche, Baton Rouge. So you just send me an invite with enough advance, and I can come one time and come talk. It's not an issue. But what helps us the most is our EOC director now is a hand. Travis, and Travis isn't somebody who just has a license. He has been a practicing hand for years and years past. So, you know, that, I think that helps compared to.
You're looking at covering probably, what, 3 parishes, right? Ascension, St. James, and St. John?
And St. Charles,
So 4 parishes.
That's a big reach. Iberville, if I can get in on it.
And
Yeah.
we talked about
Maybe
that.
5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing is, it would be up to us as a club to kind of get all of the parish EOCs together. You understand what I'm saying? To work with, because you're going to cover a big region, so you have to get everybody on the same page, not just us.
The only one we're gonna have an issue with. He's not making it with St. Charles.
Yeah.
He wants, he's a good guy. He wants his own guys who are already working there. He sent them to get tech certified. Some are going to get their general next. He wants those guys to do it in emergency already there. He doesn't want to have to worry about.
That's cool.
And that's fine. What's wrong with that?
No, I'm just saying, me and Adam try working on him.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's as long as you know, in good standing as far as relationship-wise, hey, who wants radios in the first shift? That's what he wants, and his guys are there.
That's what happened with my EOC director in Niverville Parish, is ad hoc volunteers showed
Oh,
up, and Aries and stuff, or club people, saying, well, during a hurricane, we'll show up and be there. And she said, not without a background check or knowing prior to the disaster, who you are and if you're
And
down in the high schools or whatever.
And that's why Lafourche is the one thing to do with AMG.
Yeah.
Because he had some knuckleheads show up over there during one of, I think, 2012 hurricane, right before my time, and said, oh, wait, y'all in disaster, y'all need me. Y'all need me in your thing, and they didn't, like the same thing with mine, is I have a deputy at the front door, and if you don't have one of them shiny badges.
Yeah. My director says if I don't know you and check you off, you know, you're not walking into a school gymnasium that's set up as a shelter. I can't trust you not to.
So saying all this, so I know you don't want to hear this, Al. I think the cat's stuck in the oven or something. But, do we want to kind of wait and see what happens with this merge thing before we worry about elections? Because the way it looks now is there's nobody putting up their hand up for any election positions. And I know you don't want to hear that.
I understand that, but we are not going to be as involved as we were.
I am, you know.
As far as what you mean? As far as the new club, or as far as like if we go on another, or if we go another month without elections?
When you say we, you're talking to you and Darlene? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you and Darlene
But what I'm asking though is, you're saying that even if we have to postpone this elections for one more month, that you're not going to be for the next month, or just don't count on you at all in the future?
I will say at all, but I will not be as heavily involved as I have been for the last 6 years.
As an officer?
I think what he's saying is.
I do not want to be an officer.
Did you burn, and you basically done, just want to be a ham operator?
Yes.
I got it.
He wants.
And be honest with you, that's, as long, I have no problem with that. As long as when me, Adam called you, Steve called you, and we say, and say, hey man, just be able to answer your question, hey, we don't understand this, how does this work?
Yeah. I'm
That's
not
basically
saying I don't want to be involved with the club. Okay? I I will be involved with the club, but yeah, I've been an officer for 15 out of my 16 years.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I agree with you because I'm not even an officer yet, and I'm overwhelmed. You know, and that's what the thing is. Yeah, we start this new club, but Adam's saying, yeah, we really need a club, and we all know we need a club. But he don't want to be president. I don't want to be president.
Actually, president is probably one of the better jobs.
Do you have access to the gallery on my server?
No,
All
what
the
gallery?
pictures.
No, I don't know. What do you mean gallery on the pictures? I don't even know where your server is.
That's where I put all the pictures I take of the club. I got about a couple thousand.
I have no idea
A
where
lot
you're
of them
going.
are on Facebook. You put them on.
Okay, yeah.
No, Chris put them up.
Oh, you're talking about the Jim Babin Facebook page to look in photos? Because that's the only thing. No, okay.
It's
We
Jim
have,
and Judy I'll email you the thing. JimandJudy.us.
so many people
And then it's gallery.
that are,
And then it's K5ARC.
Okay.
And I'll have to send you the password. And you
Here's
can
the other
download, just click on it and download the full image.
Al, here's another thing. Does the club have a K5ARC at AARL or something for sending emails? Right now, like the meeting announcement, I sent it from my...
K5ARC, it's AARC at K5ARC.com is what it was.
Okay, and how would I get access to it to send out emails to people instead of sending it through my
But the
personal?
problem is, the thing with this is, who do you think, how many people go in there that can get their email updated?
Right.
I know people that use new emails every 6 months.
I sent out an email and I got 6 pingbacks saying undeliverable.
Yeah, I
So,
always get them.
the thing is, if we do keep the club going until a merger or anything like that, as secretary, email lists, also, like, we just had people pay dues. How do I get a hold of that information, know who's paid up, who's not, who to add to an email list, who to take off an email list? I don't know how you've been doing it for the last 10 years, but...
I used the website for the last 4 or 5 that John had kept up, and it worked well.
Right, now we've got a new
Up until
website that I'm
before
not
that, I
even sure.
used a spreadsheet.
Okay. I gotta figure out how you've been doing it so I can figure out who's where. I don't even have a list of current
Well,
members.
if
I have a list
if
of,
I go in and pay my dues, will I get credit for it if the club,
Yes.
Yeah.
We've already, me and Adam have already discussed that, we even want to try to do,
or
and
should I
like
wait?
high
till
school
we have
kids
to
that
do
are in school, free
Right.
membership to try to get them in. We even, and I know we get way ahead of ourselves, but we already have industry willing to donate once we are certified 503. We want to start a scholarship fund, because I stole that from the guy that was here before about if there's a ham in high school, we would advertise, you have your license, try to give them a scholarship to college, depending on the funding. But, I mean, we got like all these ideas and stuff like that. What would it be for your wife? What a new ham, when I went to Florida, I met guys over there for Walton. Any new tech ham first time gets the first year free. So we have those ideas. It's kind of like we have the ideas for down the road, we still have to just get on the road.
Even if you could do something, like you're talking about scholarships to some of these, like ITI or something like that. Technical schools. Yeah. Where they're learning a trade that's gonna keep them local.
So, if I pay I guess the question I'm asking is, should I go ahead and pay my dues tonight when I get home, or wait till the club burns?
No, I was saying do.
Okay.
We'll get you to when we.
Yeah.
Don't get no.
Oh, wait?
It doesn't matter.
Any full paid members now, or even the Plantation Club, that's all gonna merge over.
It's, especially when you come up to being a 501 club, it's not about the money. Because I'm telling you, Jim knows, Jim's been here that long. When I got in here, and Jim came back in, we had a lot of money.
Open the door over there.
Okay?
I am.
But we didn't have any equipment that was worth it.
We have old GE Master 2 radios.
And we had everything that we owned was on one house. And we spent more time out there working on crap than we spent on the radio. When Gustav came around, the whole power came down. We lost everything we had.
Before we could get out there, the scrappers cut all backs up.
Well, it
and
wasn't any
250.
good anyway, half of it was broken and
Yeah,
can't.
and
There was
telephone.
500 foot of tower laying on the ground like spaghetti.
I want to tell you, we went from a point 6 months ago, 8 months ago, where we couldn't find tower space anywhere. And the most we had was a couple of old Motorola's that Joe gave us from Metter.
Joe also.
Yeah, some old Metters that couldn't even stay on frequency in the heat if he had to. We went from that to we have stacks of repeaters, more tower space than I know what to do with. It's just funny within 6 months how much that
You can
changed.
ask him, though, you gonna hustle like that for a
So
long time.
is the,
and it's
so
gonna-
is the club,
it gets old.
so is the club in La Paz interested in merging with us?
Absolutely, it was actually.
What we need
It
to
was
do
Adam's
is,
idea.
So what's like a timeline that you're talking about?
Adam's the same way, is Adam and just had a huge thing where FEMA came down, grading water for 3 stuff, they were in us for some huge things. So between, he got that going on, I have fighting with Motorola every day on this power project in Guerrero that was supposed to be done in the middle of last year, and I'm still not turned on yet. Working with Daily Tower now to break ground on our new 500-foot tower. And also, they put me in charge of the new commander of the 911 center. Also, I'm taking care of 250 crime cameras. So this morning, I was in a bucket truck, 40 feet up in the air, taking phone calls about 911 complaints to my dispatchers. At the same time, my chief's calling to know, did I get in touch with Motorola or something like that? And then also, that I have radios that still need to be programmed for my officers for a parade, for a new talk group we had to have for the parade this Sunday. That's my day. So at some point in all that, I have to finish the bylaws to start a new club. Yeah. And when I get home, my wife doesn't want to see me with a laptop because she knows once I get started,
You don't stop.
Oh,
You're
I
like
don't
me, you're
stop.
type
So
A.
she says, hey, can you at least spend an hour with us and the family? And you know, so does that kind of answer your question? But I will tell you this, the bylaws are pretty much there. It's basically is finding out, okay, bylaws are basically done, what's the next step? Do we just say, hey, we got a club now?
You got a constitution?
We finished that up too. And actually, I'm trying to find a simple constitution because we were kind of leaning on, what's his name, in Thibodeau, and his is this thick. And it covers every stupid little thing you can think, and I'm trying to keep it that, I'm trying to keep it non-convoluted.
Article was written back in the 80s, but it's a pretty good guide.
But from understanding though, and yours might cover it, but to be 50, whatever it is,
501c.
you have to have certain things in it.
Yeah,
And that's what my point. But from understanding is, I think you have to get it registered as a club with the state first. And then you take that and you fill out the form, which I understand the form is actually very easy to simplify by the
Yeah, you
IRS.
go to the Secretary of State's office,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah, because you have to incorporate it.
It's incorporated.
Right.
And then you take that with a copy of your bylaws, who your officer is gonna be, and then show that you have zero money and that kind of stuff
You
like
have
that.
to have.
And then you send that off to the
It's not
IRS
only the officers,
board.
no, it's, doggone it, I had the thing. But there's not, you gotta have your officers, but there's also another deal that you have to have. I forget what they call
Board of trustees or
No.
something.
it. No.
I know what you're something maybe or something.
What is, but, and I don't remember who it is, but Adam's been talking to somebody who, their club.
So what's the
just got
size,
The same thing.
what's the
So
size
they
of
need to help them.
the plantation? Is it
Go ahead.
about like ours?
Get kind of girls.
Huh?
Kind of like yours.
Okay.
You got 5, 6 guys like this who are involved in it. You know, what I'm gonna tell you also is y'all are still 100 times more active than what Plantation is. Plantation hasn't did any kind of grassroots thing. You know, Adam and I go online and we got new hands showing up all the time in St. John, St. Charles, and St. James parishes. Just from even when I started, I was like, because John had moved out for a while. It was only me and another guy in the West Bank that was a registered hand in St. James Parish. Now they got like 10. Nobody's ever reached out to them guys. This club hasn't.
Not them guys.
Right, what I'm saying, in the last 2 years. St. John went from like 5 or 6, they're up to like 10 or 15 now, but we haven't reached out to them. So I think another thing is, Adam, another thing he was working on was like a welcome type letter saying, hey, we have a hand club, we see your new ham, welcome, come meet us one day for something or something like that, and reaching out, it's just reaching out to those guys. So I think the potential is there. But I would say this, I also have people from Thibodeau with all that crap that went on there. Yes, and so I have people who are ready to lead that and come this way also.
Al, you said you've done that, and I've got to add to that. You said you've done that, the mailer?
Oh, several times over the years.
As soon as I took over from Al Heine, as Gracie's officer for Riverville, I looked up on the SEC website where you can look up hams by zip code. We put every zip code for Riverville Parish in, there's like 15 of them. And there's about 52 hams, or there was at the time, about 10 years ago, that were registered with the SEC. And I sent out little postcards, you know, on behalf of Riverville Races, like we're having a meeting at the EOC Parish, 911 Center on this date and everything. Contact us if you'd like to come or be part of the racing. 50-something postcards mailed out, not a single reply at all on any of them.
Well, I will say this. I'm sure some of them would be the same way in St. John Parish, but we've actually been contacted through Facebook and stuff by a couple of guys who just became hands in St. John saying, hey, do y'all have a club out here? We've had it where when y'all had your trailer at the Dewey Festival, they come last year before that. We had some guy come up and say, hey, I just got my license, I'm from St. John Parish, and Stephen Raleigh happened to be there and said, yeah, and even back then we talking about kicking around a new club and that kind of stuff. Like, oh man, look, here's the information, let me know. And yeah, we got plenty of So to answer the question long term, I think we have the potential of having a very good club. I have, what's his name, John in St. Charles Parish, who's asking also, because they have zero representation there. He's interested in joining it, and he has guys too. So I think he has the potential of doing very good, to be honest with you.
Registered agents from way back. If you set out a level like that, but you have a little thing in a meeting room where somebody presents something, like APRS, or the new WSJT models.
I get that. You could get someone to show up at the 911 Center, EOC, or anything just to
EOC.
Well, that's where the meetings are held.
It's too.
You have to have registered agents on your incorporation.
Now, we're part of the local emergency planning.
If somebody said go to an EOC, if it was a Gonzales EOC, I've been there, I know what it is, I would probably go. But to another one, it's like, I don't know nobody there,
That's why we sent out the postcards. It's
I
like,
know
hey,
what I'm saying, but it's like, it's not something that, you got something new that you're interested in.
Well, I think the way we would do it is, and this is how I would feel more comfortable. Hey, if you're interested, this is the Facebook page, this is my phone number, this is my email. Let us talk first like this.
Yeah.
And I think that instead of me sending you a postcard saying, hey, come to this fire station, even though you don't know nobody, and come walk in that door, and everybody looks at you. I know me, I'm the kind of guy I am, I'm too shy, I wouldn't want to do that. But let me talk to you, a couple of guys, I've talked a couple of times on the radio, or on the phone, or on Facebook. I feel a lot more comfortable going together.
Nobody ever called, nobody ever emailed, nothing. So, no. Not only did they not show, no one contacted.
I'm gonna let Adam.
Was it
I'm not a
Channel
good person.
2? One of the clubs in Baton Rouge, Channel 2 or Channel 9, used to have a little thing, and there was somebody would present something. And I went to a bunch of them. So, it's going to be something interesting. And, it's going to be an open meeting. And everybody, everybody. You didn't have to be a ham if you were interested in whatever it was.
What we need to do is meet between the two clubs and figure out if we want to do this, we need to meet between the two.
But right now, the two clubs is me and Adam and you and That's basically.
This is it, right here.
No, I mean, it is what it is.
Because the Plantation Club has had a meeting, and other than us, a couple of people trying to put together.
Yeah,
Over the last 2-3 years, it's me, Adam, Steve Raleigh, whenever his son lets him get out.
Maybe reach out to some of those people that have expressed interest in the club and say, look, we're having a joint meeting, we're revamping how we're doing our clubs down here. So why don't you come with us and start to be involved in some of our clubs, meet some of the guys, and both clubs meet, and then maybe you can offload some of the workload onto some other people that have.
And don't put in the because people like Al that doesn't like races or these other.
Don't Reese's
I'll tell you, even my bylaws has,
Well,
that we're here to
don't even
assist.
mention those organizations.
Yeah,
no.
Because you won't show up.
It's
Oh,
just an
absolutely.
independent club, like, we're doing our own thing, you know.
Local one.
It's a local club with no affiliation.
There's no
Yeah.
reason to even mention.
Yeah, so get the people to the table.
But even the bylaw says that we're here to assist the community, you know, with emergency communications if needed, and it's basically vague like that. And we don't have the attitude that if you wanna go join races,
That's
we're not gonna join races.
Yeah.
But if you wanna go join Aries, and you wanna go join Cellcom, and you wanna go join whatever
That's
other,
all.
Mars, or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
nobody will get their feelings hurt if you're on another organization, right?
Yeah.
But I think it might do us some good if we get, you know, all the people from both clubs and maybe some new interests to come in and say, okay, this is what we got going on, let's start from go.
Well,
And
I'm
make
gonna
some
tell
changes.
y'all right now, as far as right now, I have not done anything with the incorporation. I'm not going to do it until we
Figure it out.
come up with something. Now, if you don't do it within a certain amount of time, then we'll revoke it.
So that the
If
club
they
is,
revoke
is-
The corporation goes to who? Goes to the state?
Secretary of
Secretary of
State,
State.
That's
If
renewed or something like that?
every year.
Okay.
If they revoke it, it's like $65, $70 to get it back.
How long is it?
When you're on it, dog,
Are we running out of time?
1 year, it's already, we're not even expanding it at this point.
Well, let me ask you this question, but if we were to merge, do you just let that go, or do you have to officially
You-
unincorporate with them?
You go spend $25 on unincorporated.
Yeah, now, if you
Even though it
do,
don't do it good.
if you do form another club, you need to incorporate.
Oh, no, that's no doubt.
I'm gonna tell you why, okay? The reason you need to incorporate, the main reason, is, no, got nothing to do with taxes, it's all about liability. If something happens at an event that you are hosting or you are at, and somebody gets sued, if you are not incorporated, they can sue every individual member of the club.
That's true.
If you are incorporated, they can't do that.
But is that the same as the LLC? But is it the same?
Corporation.
But is
Not
that,
every individual.
but is that the same as an LLC, limited liability company?
it sounds like the same.
Well, it is a form of incorporation.
It sounds like
yes,
the same
yeah,
as an
it's
LLC,
separate.
because they can only go
But-
after the business.
But you have to be, you need to be incorporated and you need to keep it up for liability purpose.
But you can't get 503C unless you are incorporated. So that's how I know being out of
How
my
much-
officially incorporated.
Yeah.
We didn't have to register with the IRS, we registered agents.
No, not.
No,
But if you want to become non-profit, so you can receive donations and stuff.
Your registered agents, you have registered agents on the incorporation.
Yeah, that's the person that gets the mail.
See, to be non-profit, it is a little more paperwork every year because you have to file with the IRS to show what.
Dude, all you gotta do is,
Right.
they send you that thing, you email and say, no, we did not make over $25,000, and it's done.
Talking about mail,
But
do we have a post office box and so who's got keys? Okay.
No, that's another reason we need to get, I want my address off
Take it off.
of, yeah.
So,
I'm gonna get with Adam.
Move, it won't be.
I'm gonna get with Adam when I leave here, if he's still awake or tomorrow, and tell him we need to get moving on this because of the situation y'all are in with elections, incorporation, everything like that. Now's the time to move.
We need to have an interim president before we, even if it's just temporary, before we leave. Somebody needs to
Take your place.
it's not me.
I really, I know he's gonna throw something at me, but I really would like to see Steve. You want representation also with Iberville and everything else that you've been talking about?
Yeah.
To me, you could lead that on this side of it, me and Adam can handle it on that side of it. I think, unless somebody needs, I don't step on nobody's toes, unless somebody here wants it, he can be your Baton Rouge representative.
I mean,
Yeah.
Or your vice president, or vice versa, I wear
We
yellow.
just
Yeah.
said we just temporarily until we merge the
Yeah,
clubs,
interim.
or-
Interim, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I would temporarily.
because it would be easier, it would be a lot of headaches to go
No, it's not worth
fix
going
it.
to
It
the
isn't
bank.
worth going to the bank and then changing everything out and then
Talk
doing
about
it
the
again.
treasurer.
I asked Al if he would stay treasurer temporarily till we merge the clubs, because it's not working.
Just since you hold on to money and you
Since you've got the money in the bank account stuff
Right,
right
it
now,
wouldn't be worth changing.
I gotta
and
be
changing
interim
it again.
president, so, well, you know.
I mean, we're not gonna need
Still
more
want me to
things,
do
we got no
secretarial
projects
stuff?
coming up, so,
Yeah, I mean, we're good.
No, you do.
yeah, so, if you can just hold on to that.
Yeah, once a month I go check the accounts, and if we need to spend something, we spend it, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't see us needing to spend, so.
I'll keep up the secretarial stuff in the meantime too, keep videoing and minutes and I'll type these up and have.
All right, so president, vice president, treasurer. Tom, do we,
Actually, I wouldn't worry about the minutes.
do we need to make a motion, second motion, third motion?
No, Robert Rules says.
He's in motion.
Talking about adjourn or?
No, to
I'll make the
president,
motion.
president, vice president, treasurer.
I'll make that motion.
Make sure I got your call right.
In 5 people. Let's see what he
See my dirty mom completely somewhere else that AD, but I'm gonna, I see the cameras on, so I'm not good with it.
Alright. Fred / secretary.
What you doing these days?
Al's still gonna hold on to treasurer.
Yeah.
You want to put a duplex together?
What?
Duplex.
Alright. I'll
Can
get
we get the duplex together?
Al, are you willing to come to the next meeting and help us finish this up?
We go get the 225 out, and I'll see if we get
But I'll be honest with you,
the
but I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of this is gonna be done offline.
Yeah.
And this urgent stuff, it ain't gonna be done immediately, it's gonna be done offline and,
Okay.
unless I'm missing something, there really isn't much to do.
I can't fix
Because it's not like y'all
The
would
main
just,
thing,
it's just, basically we're gonna start this new thing, we think about calling it like
I
readers.
just probably need treasure because of the.
River Region Emergency
I have software that reads.
Amateur Radio Service.
We want to
Readers.
set it, the question is, does it want to be, focused, like you said, on emergency? Or just a River Region Amateur Radio Club and have emergency services in there, but also education and testing?
We were trying to come up with a tricky name, and because we do so much emergency stuff on that side, that was the name we came up with, but no, it's not gonna be a 100% based
Right.
emergency stuff.
Some
We wanna be able
people-
to do the fairs, we'll be able to do the balloon thing that y'all do. We won't be able to do, we wanted this year to be able to pull, either get, I don't know if you're familiar with the ham balance that, what's his name's got in the
The
Warrens.
ambulance, that's what I
Yeah,
did.
the ambulance, we were supposed to put that in the parade this weekend, but because of rain, we're not. So we want to be able to still do those things and do, God forbid, another flood, going to Ascension and do Hamilton, the radio connect, American,
I just
say
didn't
that
want
again, but,
to leave
you
out
know, the
people that won't
communication.
join
So
in
we
this
want to be able to do all that stuff.
that's like,
I just didn't
I don't think we need emergency in our name.
There's a subgroup of people that, it's a whacker club. I like to socialize and chat on the radio.
Trust me,
I don't want to do it on the radio.
I am so anti-whacker, you have no
That's kind of like that, when I was in the military.
You could be
You
ham
know, actually,
sexy.
that little patch said, combat communication.
You'll see
That
that
thing
later.
never happened to get on my field
I
jacket.
see some pictures of these guys with all these antennas and flashing lights and
Well,
magnets on their cars, and I'm like, oh man, sirens, and I'm like,
the thing is, it is a hobby, and it is supposed to be something you enjoy. However, when the need arises, you need to be there to assist the community or whatever it is.
and it's a lot easier to do that when you're not affiliated with some of these clubs.
Yeah.
Because areas that come down and say, you gotta do this,
Well-
or Cellcom's gonna say, you gotta do it this way. We didn't like the way Aries said you had to do it, so we're gonna tell you how to do it this way. And I'm like, wait a minute, y'all have become Aries Light, or Aries version 2.
And what they don't understand is, you're a member of Aries or Reiki or Self-Com or whatever
Amron,
it is.
I got Amron.
Whatever it may be. But none of this, it's just like years ago, the volunteer fire department, okay? They came over to the paper and said, you have a mandatory meeting, and it's like, no. Wait a minute.
We're
Volunteer, if I'm volunteering, nothing is mandatory. So if these are all volunteer organizations, you cannot mandate what I must or must not do. Because I'm a volunteer.
Without saying too much, but when Aries starts coming down and saying,
this is the person that's gonna do this, you can't let this person do this.
They mandate who can do what.
And
Volunteer organization, dude, you can't mandate.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this, listen to the rumors I'm still hearing, I know that elections that just happened, it's about to get worse. It's about to get funkier,
I mean, I think like you said, you know, if you got a good relationship with the EOC and they clear you and.
I'm gonna tell you what Earl Hughes said down in Terrebonne, and I'll tell you what my guy says. I don't care if it's Aries, races, Mars, whatever it is supposed to be, I don't care this. As long as when I call up my liaison and say, I need guys down here, and guys who I approve of course, show up to that door, I don't care
Well,
what is written right
you
here.
also have to understand, okay, the whole thing is about, if you, of course, you as a law enforcement officer will different, okay? But if you're not law enforcement or some type of emergency personnel, if you are in the affected area, you should not be called on. It should be people from outside. Because if you are in the affected area, you have family and your home, you have things you have to take care of.
But we learned that during Florida.
Right.
That's why
Well, I learned that during Woodstock, okay? Because I called, I was an area member, I was the EC for Ascension Parish. And I called the guy up in Shreveport, I'm gonna say his name, told him, look, we're gonna need some people down here after this thing goes through. Oh yeah, I'll get you somebody. What'd he do? He tried to bring people from Baton Rouge.
They were underwater too.
And so, what happened? Our EOC director got pissed because nobody was over there running the radio. Because he thought we should have. But no, dude. You know, I got 12 people at my house because they don't have a house. I don't have electricity. You know, but yeah, I've got to take care of. No, that's not the way it works. So it's got to be understood that. I mean, I know what you're saying. There's somebody that, oh yeah, well I know this guy, but it might be somebody from outside that they'll have to accept to go in there and do the communication.
I will admit that is the one weakness by not being part of an organization.
Yeah, you don't have to phone tree call.
It's because you don't have a phone tree.
You say that.
But I will say, do you take the good with the bad? Because
You will
I
have,
wouldn't be doing areas. I don't care.
you will have people that will volunteer to go places.
Wednesday, March 28th, that's the last Wednesday of March. If we want to meet back here again, Al, do you think we could arrange to have the fire department let us in again, or?
I don't know.
If they're not
They
using,
got a new protocol now,
Okay.
okay? So that's why it took a while. It used to be you could just call up here, talk to Jessica, and she'd say, yeah, the room's open, you can have it. Okay, I don't work that anymore. So now they got somebody that has to approve it. So if she takes the request, forwards it to the guy, he's got to approve it, and then get back to her, and she comes back.
well, that would be enough time for her to,
Do we want to get started on that right away, or look for an alternative? And if so, where?
Well, I mean, we can do that. I'm just saying, yeah, if we want to do it, we need to get on it because it's not, you used to be able to call her today and have it tomorrow.
If we can get
Now,
that.
when you call in, you want to next month, you say, you can't schedule a lot of stuff lined up.
Yeah,
There might be
let's
something more important coming.
get a hold of the fire
They-
department
they-
person and get it confirmed for the 28th. If not, you know, by next week, we should know one way or another, hopefully.
What's
And
that, March?
March 28th.
I think it was 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks.
Yeah,
So you want to just hold off on the meeting till the 28th?
that'll be March 28th. That will be the last Wednesday of the month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, we were meeting the first Wednesday,
Oh,
but,
wait. Okay.
but you wouldn't have
Wait,
time.
this is the last Wednesday. No, it is first. My bad. My bad. March 7th. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Well, but I was going to tell her now, we're going to lose next week because I'm out of town.
Okay.
And then later,
Look,
that's what I'm saying, I think,
y'all get with us,
March 7th is going to be a little
meeting we need to end up.
March 7th, it's a month from now.
So you lose it next week, because
Well,
everybody.
you got Mardi Gras
Mardi Gras
going on and
stuff.
stuff like that.
Yeah, so it give me 2 weeks to get some of this stuff done. It's
So
just-
why don't we do March 28th? That would be good.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do the
If you
last,
want March
do you
28th,
the president, you know,
Yeah, you're the president, March 28th, Dean.
We can keep it on the 7th if we can get the meeting space.
But I just think March 7th is not the time we could be here discussing the same stuff of what if.
Nothing.
Want to kick it
We
back?
have time to get the
leave it on the
MOU done.
28th?
Leave it or go back, maybe next
Leave
week.
it on the 28th?
The 21st?
I say leave it at 28. 28 gives us plenty enough weeks to get repeater stuff, get the MOU stuff over, get the antenna hung. That gives us 6 weeks to get all this stuff done with this new club. I think that's plenty enough time, but not too far away.
Adam,
Have a hand back.
Adam has my email, I'm pretty sure he has Steve.
Yeah, we've been talking on Facebook, right?
So, when y'all get that thing done, and when Francis gets that, just whatever we'll do, I mean, it's not an issue who signs it. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually,
This will be yours.
it's gonna be one.
Okay.
And I really think the best thing you can do is make it one for us.
All right.
Yeah.
In between, as things go, emails, Facebook, whatever.
You got a hand on that?
Yes, I do. Barely.
Jimmy and Judy.us.
PIWIUS. Buck, it was good to see you, man.
Good to be here.
You need to drop by the house and drink one of them home brews with